This is Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast, our 89th episode. I'm Mark Berry. This week on Top Shelf, our ine+nutrition player spotlight shines on Chase Bambrick of the Creston Valley Thunder Cats, and on our Bench Boss segment, Levi Stuart from the 100 Mile House Wranglers. So here's what we know heading into the final weekend of the regular season. We know which 16 teams are in, but not necessarily the matchups. The President's Trophy race isn't decided just yet, but Grand Forks is in the driver's seat. If they close out the season with a win over Beaver Valley, they will be regular season champions. Princeton needs a Bruins loss, and they would need to beat Merritt. Looks like Revelstoke would be out on tiebreakers based on regulation wins. Creston Valley was the last team to get a seat heading into the playoffs. Their Saturday night win over Nelson and Golden's dramatic 5-4 loss to Fernie ensured the T-Cats are in. The top 5 scorers heading into the final weekend: Levi Astle with 90, Tyler Burke is 18 back, followed by Taylor Haggerty, Matthew Langdon, and the top scoring D-man, Eric Martin. Amongst goaltenders playing 840 or more minutes, Cale Svensson from Sicamous is tops with a .939 save percentage. Ryder Ponto from Revelstoke is second, followed by Blake Sittler, Princeton, and Andrew Kokora, Merritt. Chase Bambrick of the Creston Valley Thunder Cats is our ine+nutrition player spotlight. He has been electric since coming to the T-Cats from the WHL. Emmanuel asked him how he felt being back home in Creston.
I'm definitely enjoying it a lot. It's definitely a lot of fun playing at home and playing in the league. It's a really fun league to play in. It's pretty competitive as well. Great group of guys. Some of the funnest hockey I've played in quite some time, and that definitely helps enjoy the sport for me.
Hughes reverses that one. Ryerson checks his man's stick. That's thrown towards the goal. Nobody able to get a tip on that. Now it's Bambrick holding the puck in at the line. He loads up Brazel for a shot. Bambrick scores! Chase Bambrick starts the play and he ends it.
How would you describe the type of defenseman that you are? I was looking at your stats, and in the last 7 games, you have 10 points.
I don't know. I enjoy playing more offensive as a defenseman. I guess I haven't been able to play that way for the last few years, just where I am and how in the level I guess I've been playing at. But now that I can actually do what I kind of want to try and I can use my confidence and make plays, I've been able to get some points and contribute offensively like I enjoy doing.
When it came to joining the team, what were the conversations like with head coach Jordy Woodrick, especially in terms of the type of role that he wanted you to fill or bring to the team?
He kind of just told me, just play how you'd want to play, try to enjoy it. And if you're enjoying playing, you're going to probably play better. It's kind of his mindset behind that, I assume.
Yeah. What do you like about this Thundercats team?
Yet again, the guys, great group of guys, ton of new faces that I've actually never met in the hockey world. And, I don't think there's a guy on that team that don't get along with each other, And I think that's a big importance for a team that's, now that we're in the playoffs, trying to go for a run.
And then why did you decide to come back to play for your hometown team?
One of those things where I was like, I didn't really necessarily want to continue playing hockey as a job or trying to, necessarily move on in it. I was more looking for coming home to look for school, trying to find an electrical apprenticeship has kind of been my main goal lately. Yeah.
What was the experience like for you to play in the WHL?
It's definitely very professional. It's more of I'd say more of a job personally is how I took it. I'd say I enjoy playing here quite a bit more though.
What's made playing in the league more enjoyable than in the WHL?
Definitely having a lot more flexibility. You can make mistakes and you're not gonna go sit in the stands after. It's one of those things where it's just a lot more forgiving, I'd say.
Earlier when Jordy mentioned that he was going to be signing you and he mentioned about you doing an electrical apprenticeship, what made you interested in pursuing that for work?
I don't know. I've been kind of interested in the trades and just in general and, just kind of researching them. I found that it's one of those ones that I was fairly interested in and I liked all the things that it came with too.
It's coming back to something with the group of guys that you're with. How have you tried to be an influence to your teammates?
I've obviously played, kind of, I guess everywhere really and at all types of levels. So I kind of trying to bring I guess, the leadership and experience that I have, and kind of help some of the guys that haven't, like the younger guys who, are just getting into junior and don't really know what to expect, and kind of try to help those guys out.
You've been enjoying playing the game again. Do you feel like your time so far with the Thundercats is kind of giving you that passion back a bit?
Yeah, it's definitely resurrected that feeling for sure.
That's Chase Bambrick of the Creston Valley Thunder Cats. Chase, thanks for joining us on Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast.
Thanks again for having me.
The Players Spotlight is a presentation of ine+nutrition. Boost your energy naturally with Canada's best-tasting super greens by ine+nutrition. Abundant in over 50 antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, ine+ super greens will improve your immune and digestive systems, increase your energy, and enhance your mental clarity. You'll feel better overall, almost like you could tackle any challenge. Shop now at www.ine+nutrition.com and use the code KIJHL10 to get 10% off your order. This is Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast, now available on YouTube. On our Bench Boss segment, Emmanuel talked with 100 Mile House Wranglers head coach and GM Levi Stuart. The Wranglers have been in a number of tight one-goal games leading into the playoffs. Emmanuel asked the Wranglers coach how he felt this would help his team.
It is a good step for us getting ready for playoffs to be playing those 1 or 2 goal games. It's something that we didn't play a ton of the first half of the year. So yeah, it's good to kind of get used to that and get used to having to fight for leads or battle back from being down or finding different ways to shut down a lead with only a one goal lead. But it's never never ideal when you feel like you could score an empty net or you could could have buried a couple more and been up by more than just one. Obviously, it puts a little less stress on the coaching staff when, not every game is coming down right down to the wire. But yeah, like you said, it is, definitely something that, people are used to seeing in the playoffs, and it tends to be the trend of playoff hockey. So I think it is a good, a good thing in that sense for us to be getting used to that and making sure we know exactly what we are doing in those specific scenarios, be it up by one or down by one.
You faced Chase and Williams Lake this weekend. What is the focus on to get the points you needed to win your division?
Just sticking to our structure and continuing to play kind of how we've played, since the deadline and kind of in the new year. We're just making sure we do things the right way and play Wrangler hockey and stay disciplined. That's been a big one for us all year. We're a team that is definitely up there at the top of the league in penalty minutes, and a lot of that may be from fighting and other kind of stuff like that. But when it comes to taking minor penalties and giving other teams opportunities on the power play, if you're doing that 4 or 5 times a night, you're never really putting yourself at much of an advantage. You're always going to be making it that much harder on yourselves when you're letting the other team, no matter who it is, have that many opportunities. So we're focused on discipline and making sure we continue to skate and do our structure, our forecheck and our D zone, and making sure we're all together on the same page and continuing to keep pucks out of our net and finding a way to bang in some greasy goals.
Have you guys made adjustments to how you play since the deadline?
No, we've been attempting to play the same since the beginning of the year. I think, it's just kind of been able to come together that much better since kind of the new year and the deadline and, having some bodies heal up. It's been nice to, kind of get to where we've wanted to be all year and playing the way we want to be, whether we're getting the outcomes or not. We're, at least, all on the same page as far as structure goes and how we want to approach games.
Can you provide an update on the health of Riley Langeal?
Yeah, so he is, he's going to be playing this weekend. That'll be, he'll be returning here. Whether he plays, 1 or 2 games, we're not sure yet. He'll be playing Friday night at home versus Chase, and, we're going to kind of go from there. And if he's comfortable, maybe we'll play him again Saturday. If not, we might just give him the one to get back, get ready for playoffs here. But, obviously going to be a big addition for us and a guy that, we picked up there at the deadline and only played 1 game and 1 shift for us before he went down with an injury. So definitely, nice to have him back and, looking forward to seeing what he can do and contribute to our lineup.
As I mentioned before about collecting points needed to win the division, how important is it for the group to win its division?
It's huge. Yeah, no, it's absolutely huge. That's been the goal for sure. We want that banner and we want that first place spot, not only just for the accolades of showing that we can do that and turn around from what this team was last year, and but also just to set us up for going into playoffs. So obviously you want to be that number one seed and have home ice advantage as long as you can going into the playoffs.
Talk about some of the good things that you're seeing from your group of late.
Getting contributions from everybody. That's the big thing. Our goalies, we've had 3 different goalies play, in the last month or two, and they've all come in and done a job and won their games. And, Drew Caden had, been a good addition. He came with Langille from Kimberley at the deadline there, and he's, turned out to be a really good addition for us and won us some big hockey games and made some big timely saves. But, I think our team's been kind of coming together like we talked about, just systematically, and starting to really dial in to play exactly how we want to play structure-wise, and playing a team-first game and unselfish hockey. And it's been great to see with, guys selling out and blocking shots for their teammates and their brothers, and being willing to do whatever it takes to win.
Touch on some guys who have impressed you lately, but that people don't typically see hit the score sheet.
I wouldn't say there's been a ton of guys that don't typically hit the score sheet, but I mean, Nash Hillworth's one that's, been red hot when it comes to goal scoring. He's finding a way to score goals, almost every game here. And, he's done a great job since he came back from a wrist injury there where he missed a big chunk of the year, and, has solidified himself as a guy who's really strong on the penalty kill and blocks shots, and he's very physical and has some big hits and, really gets the boys going. He had, when we were in Golden there a few weeks back, he had a natural hat trick, all shorthanded, two 5-on-3 shorthanded goals for, which I don't think I've ever seen in my life in hockey. So, he's a guy that's definitely stepped up and contributed. But I think everybody's kind of played their part and chipped in here or there. We're getting some contribution from the back end and from the Cold Cats and Lannon Jans of the world who have the big numbers. But I mean, even a guy like Dawson Harden has come in and put up some points here since he's been back and from injuries and done really well. But even the guys that you maybe not see put up the numbers, the Camden Bowmans and Ethan Hofstrand and Tyler Smoleks of the world, they're the guys that are really shutting it down and shutting down the other guys' top lines, which for us is how we look to generate offense. For us, it all starts in the D zone. So, whether they're putting up the points or not, we look at them all as guys that are contributing towards scoring goals.
That's Levi Stuart, head coach, general manager of the 100 Mile House Wranglers. Levi, thanks for joining us on Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast.
Thanks so much, Emmanuel. Appreciate it.
This is Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast, available on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and on the KIJHL.ca website. Our thanks this week to broadcaster Eric Blow, Wranglers head coach and GM Levi Stuart, and Creston defenseman Chase Bambrick. A big thank you to the good folks at ine+nutrition. Don't forget to use the code KIJHL10 to get your discount. Finally, a stick tap to Flow Hockey, which brings our players closer to their families and friends back home. For Emmanuel Sequeira, I'm Mark Berry. This is Top Shelf, the KIJHL podcast.